Welcome back. Before the break, we had that press conference live from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport when Nairobi County Women Representative Esther Passaris just jetted back in from the Women Deliver Conference in Canada. And she had quite a lot to say about the various allegations that have dogged her while she was away. She's termed them as lies, baseless, etc. and asked those that may be accusing her to march to the EACC and report whatever they consider as deeds that she has carried out. She's also said that she, on the other hand, will march to the EACC, NCIC, National Gender Commission and so forth to make complaints.
Of course, she's also said that the governor should now be, Governor Sonko that is, should speak with truth and that his communication skills require a little bit of more work. Of course, at the end of that specific press, she commented on the issue of Intercon Hotel, which was one of the issues that was brought in when Governor Sonko was showing the nation on Facebook the conversation that they had. She insisted 860,000 Nairobians voted for her, and none of those votes were Sonko. So she has the right to defend herself, and if she doesn't defend herself, how will she defend that of women? So, Honorable Oluoch, moving forward, I'm sure you've also seen that press as well. We had Moses Kuria sit in our male panel last week at a time like this on a Monday. Yeah. And they all gave their sentiments on this. Moses Kuria himself personally said that it's a bit difficult for women rep to carry out their jobs. The next day, of course, Tuesdays, we have an all-female panel. We had women rep here come to give their thoughts about it, and they said if there's any reason for us to, not conduct our jobs successfully, it's not because we're women, but because we actually do our job. So just to get your general thoughts on this issue of Passaris and the comments that she's made, her wanting to move to the DCI and the EACC as well.
Okay, first of all, I think that I occupy the position that she's perfectly within her rights to want to protect the space, not only for herself, but for the women. She obviously is a women representative, and people look up to her as a leader in that area. So she's talked about taking this to NCIC. She's talked about going to the Gender Commission. I think she's talked about DCI. And I think I don't begrudge her the opportunity to do that. But I do occupy the position that when all is said and done, and I'm speaking here as a lawyer, if I was advising her from a legal perspective, is that she will achieve more going into a civil suit and try to pursue a case in defamation. You all know about the suckers about NCI. They only react to headlines. When the headline is gone, they'll go to the next one about what is happening elsewhere and what hate speech is being said by who, and then they will attempt some negotiation and reconciliations, which is in order. It's provided in the Constitution. But if she really is looking for reprieve, something that will have the authority of law, that, well, I was offended here, my character was besmirched, there were no truths in this, and then the governor will have the opportunity to then say that in defense of what I said, this is the truth. Because in defamation, there is what you say that in defense of what you said, truth is a justification. That, you know, this is the truth. So those tapes can be played out, and for every allegation that the tape or the governor said, the governor would then be able to say that I didn't defame because it is the truth. This happened. So I think the best approach for me from a legal perspective, where we won't be getting into a suckers, is for her to go the defamation route. The other thing really that I think she talked and really skirted around is the extent to which the cyber law and cyber crime, where did we get with it, how many clauses are stuck in our courts. She talks about trolling, she talks about bullying. That's another avenue she should look at. I mean, the possibility that freedom of expression has its place, and the possibility that it also goes...
Where does Article 31, for example, come in? Yes. Right to privacy.
Yes, the right to privacy. Where does her privacy begins? To what extent can you go with your freedom of expression without touching on the right to privacy? I think that's another thing that would be very useful, and she would help the women folk more if she did not go the direction of, I would call it the drama of, the NCI would probably just do headlines, and then that thing will disappear. But if she needs to deal with this thing definitively, in a way that will do justice not to her, but other women as well, in similar circumstances, I would go the defamation's way. And then I would look at what's provisions are not locked out by the courts in terms of the cybercrime law, and see where she can get.
See where you can get.
Yes.
Because of time and because I know we had SRC matters to finish up on. Honorable Omalo, I'll give you one comment on this because I know there's something else we need to finish and our time is almost up.
Now, Article 35 of the Constitution, Kenyans have a right to information. If you are an elected public person like Esther Passaris, obviously Kenyans want to know. Because that video that was out, it brings the questions on matters of her moral standing and matters of integrity. So she cannot run away from this. And whether that video that was released by Sonko, whether it was edited or whether it's the true version. And this is how the defamation issue now comes in. Because Kenyans are waiting. You see, she tries to meander around, but you can't run away from this. You are a public person.
Well, notwithstanding, in her defense, you also,
absolutely, notwithstanding Article 31 of the right to privacy. If you're a public person, people will continue to want to know so much about you. So to me, my advice to her, people want to know what transpired. So really, and the defense, actually, Governor Sonko must be ready because he has to give the evidence to prove that whatever was released was not edited, it was true, and what was the intention, actually, of releasing that video. So we have so much that we are supposed to see. And as my colleague had put it, it might end up in courts. We need also the ESCC to look into it, the DCI to look into it, so that we'll be able to know. And Kenyans who voted for her, she got higher votes, you know, she got 800 and something. So issues of integrity, she cannot run away from it. Issues of moral standing, you can't run away from this. So really, Kenyans need to know the truth. And governor must be prepared to tell Kenyans.
Is moral standing something that will be looked at by the EACC, for example? I mean...
No, matters of moral now, it will come into issues of defamation. Okay. Because from that video, it puts her moral standing to be questionable. Because we had, I'm in the hotel. I didn't know the context. But from my explanation, she was in the hotel because she was to attend a conference, which is purely in order. You can have a house in Nairobi. No, we need to understand the context, the background, which in that video of Sonko, you could not understand. Because so really the context is very, very important. Selective. So the question is, was it edited? Or that video, was it the true picture? So there are a lot of question marks that must be answered.
And also just to add on that, I know we're running time on this one, is that in the court of law, you will be able to be asked as the person who is the owner of the videotape to, one, authenticate it in terms of give us the entire not edited version of that tape. From where was it downloaded, recorded by what gadget, and then you'll be able to look at the veracity in terms of